Good morning. Glad to see a full house today. This is an extremely important event, and we're certainly glad to be here and glad to welcome. We'll introduce him later. Governor, we appreciate you coming down from this as well. Obviously, it's a big deal down here for us. Before I get started, there's a lot of folks we'd like to introduce in the house, mainly because they give us money, so we have to do it. And they're our partners in working economic development. We have a house full of elected officials, so I won't go through all the names, but we appreciate the county councils, the mayors and the city councils, and SCA board of directors, which makes up a lot of the county governments. We also have our partners, Palmetto Electric, and you're going to hear in a few minutes from Burl, so I'm not going to steal his thunder, but I do want to thank his group, let me put it that way, because there's a lot of people involved. But certainly the power team, Warren, where's Warren Darby? Warren, that's where the lead came from. So we owe him a lot. There'll be a cup of coffee for you backstage in just a minute. Harry's up here, but we want to thank the town of Hardyville. Y'all did a tremendous job, and it is going very smooth so far. And hopefully these gentlemen will have this building up and running very soon. Al Jenkins. Is Al here? Hey, Al. Senator Scott couldn't make it, so he sent his right-hand person down here. So we appreciate what Senator Scott did for us, as well as Nancy Mace. I think we have a representative from Nancy Mace's office as well. RJ, where's you? Is there? Oh, there he is. Okay. Thank the Congresswoman for us. Our delegation really came through, and we appreciate that. Lindsey Graham's office, Senator Scott's office, our representatives, Nancy Mace, Jim Clobber, and Joe Wilson were fantastic in helping us and helping the company with some stuff that need to be done in D.C. We certainly appreciate that. TCL, I know Rich Gopp is here. There now. You're going to be doing a lot of training very shortly. I don't know if you're ready to come in here and do it or do it outside at the new campus. Okay. We appreciate that very much. Also, the Beaufort Jasper Water Authority. I know Jimmy Baker's here, Verna. There they are. We appreciate what you have done. We got a small, I'm sorry. Verna, there you are. I can't see for the lights. I'm sorry. We got a small leak outside on the road, so if you could fix that before you leave, it would be great. South Carolina Department of Commerce, Teresa, there she is. Teresa, I'm gonna tell you, that's probably the fastest and quickest approval of incentives I've ever seen. So you took 2 days to get this thing together. We certainly appreciate all your work. And I got to thank the SCA staff. Y'all just raise your hands, but if anything goes wrong today, it's Kay Maxwell. It's her fault. Taylor Boykin in the back. Taylor was the project manager on this and did a super job. And the reason I'm up here is to pretty face. Somebody has to look at this. So that's my job today. Let me start out with some other folks too. Clarius, you guys, Eric, y'all, there they are. Clarius has been a great partner in everything about developing this industrial park out here. Very fast too. I mean, all moving. But that has been a great draw from across the river. And I'll mention our partners across the river too, at the Georgia Ports Authority and Governor. They have been very close to us along the way. And I know you just helped us with some issues recently, but Georgia Ports Authority and Stacy Watson is here representing them. It has been a partnership. And like you said a while ago, it's 10 minutes that way. It's an hour and a half to Warren. So I'd rather be in your place right now. Let me too mention a couple of other things before we get started. As we go down this agenda, there's going to be lunch afterwards, and I'll tell you a little bit about that when it's over. But there will be lunch, and we also have media here. And Governor, I know you and Mr. Wong will be run down. You need to go over there and talk with them, I'm sure. So appreciate that. Okay, let's get started. First of all, I want to introduce our leader in this area, Mr. Harry Williams, who's mayor of Hardyville. Harry has really been, since he's been here the last 150 years, he has done a tremendous job in council. And Josh, the new administrator for Hardyville, is here too. That has been dramatic and changing things for the better. And we do appreciate all the work you put in. So if you would come up just a minute, please. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome back Governor McMaster. I don't know if you recall, Governor, but it was September 2020 when you came down and you helped us celebrate the funding of the new Exit 3. And that's going to start pretty soon. Because of your support of that very, very important infrastructure improvement and your support of economic development here in the Low Country, there's no doubt that you made this day possible. Thank you. I'd also like to welcome all of our guests here today, and a special shout out. I know they're up in Columbia working, but our state delegation has worked so well with the governor in bringing economic opportunities to the Low Country, so I want to thank them. I also want to welcome our very highly anticipated salmon to the new Stream of Dreams here in Hardyville. I also want to welcome all the people of the Low Country to their new job opportunities to build a quality life and remain here in the region of their birth. So on behalf of the City Council, our management, and our staff, and especially the people of Hardyville and Jasper County, we thank you, Governor, and Mr. Salmon, for making this very special day as we launch the next voyage of Starship Hardyville. Thank you. Now, I see we had you on the list to do the next portion of this. Okay. I have an old agenda, I think. But anyway, Miss Valerie Guzman, the Mayor Pro Tem of Hardyville, will now lead us in prayer.
Please rise for the invocation. Father God, we are grateful for the opportunity to gather here today. Thank you for bringing us together and for allowing us to share in this experience. We recognize your hand in this event and we thank you for making it possible. May your grace cover each person here today. May we also ask for your wisdom and guidance through the navigation of this project, for creativity and innovation, for focus and clarity, for protection and safety of all within, for teamwork and collaboration, for success in all its plans. May your name be praised and glorified in its financial prosperity. Let every thought and action be purposeful and guided by your wisdom. We ask all of this in the name of Jesus. Through hope, all things are possible. Amen.
Okay, and at this point, I'd like to introduce the new chairman of Jasper County Council, who's going to share a few remarks with you, Mr. John Kim.
Good morning. What a great day in Jasper County. A little cold. I don't know. Thank God it's inside. On behalf of the Jasper County Council, I'd like to welcome all of you to Jasper County as we announce the largest job creation project in our county's history. The project's important to our community because it creates jobs direct and indirectly. that will affect Jasper County and the entire Low Country. On behalf of Jasper County, I would like to thank the Governor, the South Carolina Department of Commerce, our partners at Southern Carolina Alliance, Hardyville, South Carolina Power Team, Palmetto Electric, and for their roles in making this project a reality. It takes a lot of time, a lot of people, and when you see all the people that are here, we are doing better. I would like also to thank Claris Partners for their investing in Jasper County, which has and will attract additional investors such as this to our county. Most importantly, I'd like to extend a warm southern welcome to the soon-to-be-announced company, Salmon. You gotta live that down, you all right? We should be your salmon for the wall. And thank them for choosing Jasper County. We look forward to our partnership with you. Welcome home to Jasper County. Thank you.
If you haven't figured out the name of the company yet, I'll be very surprised. It's my pleasure now to introduce the founder and the gentleman we owe all this to. But I'd rather recognize your wife because I'm sure she's like mine. She runs the company and everything else, and the entire team with TS Conductor. So, Dr. Wong, he's the co-founder and CEO of TS Conductor, a U.S.-based leader in advanced conductor technology for the world's power grids. With over a decade of experience in advanced conductors and 2 decades at the forefront of composites, material science, Dr. Wong, we'll start to call you Jason. We'll be on first name basis hopefully later. Jason is regarded as a preeminent expert in the field. Prior to founding TS Conductor in 2018, he held senior leadership positions at several prominent companies, including CTC Global, BAE Systems, Owens Corning, and Salpe. His career also includes roles with prestigious organizations such as the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and worked on critical defense aircraft projects like the F-22 and F-35 that kind of fly over this place quite often. Jason's academic background includes a PhD in materials science and engineering and as an MBA from the Ohio State University, as well as an MS in materials science from UCLA. In short, Dr. Wong knows how we could massively upgrade the global power grid by replacing the wires in existing transmission lines with new advanced conductors, helping us affordably meet rising energy demands while unlocking a cleaner, more climate resilient future. Governor, it sounds like this project is exactly what South Carolina has in mind with our SC Nexus Energy Resilience Hub, and we are proud to make this important energy private announcement today. Please join me in welcoming our honored guest, Dr. Wong, to make this announcement.
Mr. Black, thank you very much for the very kind words. There's a lot to be said, but I probably don't have enough time. I do want to take a moment to share our sympathy and prayers to those who are affected by the wildfire in South Carolina. Governor McMaster is here, in spite of the declared state of emergency. We appreciate you to come here today. Mr. Mayor Williams, Mr. Davis, and Mr. Black, Mr. Kim, and Mayor Pro Tem, I really appreciate you all coming here and all of the other distinguished guests here to mark the momentous event in TS Conductor Corporation. We intend to make South Carolina home. And I have a story to tell. When I started my industrial career, I started in Anderson, South Carolina. I was working with the night shift for about 2 weeks. We were starting a glass melting furnace in South Carolina. It is fitting that we bring TS Conductor Corporation to South Carolina, to Hartwell, to wrap my career. We're really grateful for the support from Jasper County, from City of Hartwell, from South Carolina, and also from Southern Carolina Alliances. And I also wanted to say thanks to all my colleagues who are here. I probably won't be able to name all the names here, but I do want to recognize our customers and our sales representatives and our investors as well. We would not have made it here without you, especially Brian from Breakthrough Energy Ventures, Pradeep from National Grid Partners, Jenny from Wellington, and also Bart from Conductor Services. I don't know where you're sitting, but appreciate you all for coming here. TS technology. It incorporates the best material science has to offer today to build the best conductors. We can triple the transmission line capacity while reducing cost for customers, and the technology is also embraced by utility alignment because our product is also safe and easy to work with, unlike the prior generation products. This technology has been recognized by Platts Global Energy Award as a Rising Star company. We also won the Cable Prize competition from Department of Energy in 2023. We were named the Edison Pioneer Innovation of the Year Award by Public Utilities fortnightly, and we were also recognized by Bloomberg as a Pioneer Award recipient. TS is the solution to debottleneck our power grid. To accommodate the load growth from AI and data centers and the increased manufacturing activity here in the US, as well as connect with the massive queue of domestic energy projects, including wind, solar, and nuclear. This site in Hartwell for TS, strategically located about 10 miles away from Savannah Port. It is a momentous milestone for this company. We're proud to create hundreds of high-paying manufacturing jobs with this $130+ million investment in this area. And we expect to start productions in this facility before the end of this year. And we have expansion plans in phase 2 and phase 3. They're all going to be within the Claris Park. Our journey to South Carolina started about 18 months ago when our board decided to accelerate capacity expansion because of the enthusiasm and the support from our utilities for this very exciting TS technology. When we were introduced to South Carolina last summer, we were very pleasantly surprised with the business-friendly environment, the skilled labor force, and the strong local support. And I'm especially impressed when I was speaking with Governor McMaster and Secretary of Commerce, Lacey, that I remember what the governor said in that phone call. He said that we do not have no in our vocabulary in South Carolina. That made the decision for TS Conductor Corporation. Governor, TS is committed to be long-term partner for South Carolina's economic growth. Energy is prosperity. Energy security requires abundance in power transmission capacity. Especially when you think about the coming AI economy in the AI decades. We must have a strong U.S. supply chain for critical grid technologies like TS to ensure a strong, reliable, and secure U.S. power grid, including and especially HVDC capabilities. Our phase one here will be supported in part by DOE's Office of Manufacturing and Electric Supply Chain, which is called MESC office. And TS Conductor Manufacturing in South Carolina will enable utilities to embrace growth while maintaining security, safety, reliability, resiliency, and affordability in electricity. TS has come a long way. We built the first U.S. manufacturing plant in Southern California in 22, and we achieved quarterly profit in Q4 of 2023. Now we're entering the extremely exciting new phase in the growth and success of TS Conductor Corporation, with the initial manufacturing actually in this building, which is a 300,000 square feet facility. The future is very bright for TS and for Hardie. And I wanted to thank everybody again, especially Governor, Mr. Davis, Mayor Williams, Mr. Black, Mr. Kemp, and Mayor Protembo. Thank you very much.
Super. Good morning again, everyone. It's a big honor to be here today, especially to be able to introduce the governor. And Dr. Wong, I'm a Clemson graduate, so you know where that is. Actually, you started in Anderson, so I was about to bring it up earlier, and I'm not sure. I was saying myself, he probably doesn't even know where Clemson is in South Carolina. But anyway, it is honor and a pleasure to be here. And of course, I'm president and CEO of Combat Electric Cooperative. And to be here today to announce, and I don't have to use Project Salmon anymore, since everybody knows that this TS Conductor is coming to Hardeeville right here in the low country of South Carolina. And for those of us that are local, this area in Hardeeville, when I was growing up, was called Levy Limehouse, and I think most of us still call it Levy Limehouse. I was born and raised here in Jasper County and a second-generation employee in Combat Electric. I can remember growing up as a boy when my daddy, who was a lineman for Combat Electric, would get outage calls at the house. Of course, back in those days, there was no call centers or contact centers or dispatch offices. They put your phone number in the phone book. And so when he would get the call, would not be home, of course, growing up, I'd answer the phone. And so I feel like I started playing dispatcher when I was 8 or 9 years old. But But and Harry, you know, those calls would I'd get a call from somebody that lived in Levy Limehouse. It could have been in Pennsylvania. Of course, that's where you from, because I didn't have a clue where Levy Limehouse was located. But here we are today. We stand here today in a 300,000 square foot building next door to a 100,000 square foot building, a 200,000 square foot building, and soon to come a 1,000,000 square foot building behind us. So, Dr. Wong, I want to thank you for choosing to locate your new facility here in Hardyville. Paramount Electric is proud to be able to serve you and to have played a role in bringing TS Conductor to Hardyville and Jasper County. In fact, without James Chavez, and I learned today, Warren maybe, but mostly James or mostly Warren. So mostly Warren. Okay, I should have known. But anyway, the South Carolina Power Team, which is owned by Paramount Electric Cooperative and the other cooperatives in South Carolina, TS Conductor would not be here today if it wasn't for these guys and the contacts that they have. So I want to thank James and his staff, Warren, for their support and key roles they played in bringing TS Conductor here to the low country of South Carolina. Also, I want to thank Craig. I see Craig down there with Clarius. I think we met with Craig, was it 2022? I believe it was in 2022 when we first met with Craig about this project. And Craig and his partners and team, as well as my team at Paramount, recognize that this area of Jasper County was poised to grow. Due to its proximity, of course, to the Georgia port, Savannah, and I-95, and of course, I-16. But Clarius Partners and Paramount Electric made, at that time, a multi-million-dollar financial commitment to this project without knowing what was coming here. But we were confident. My team and his team was confident. The old adage, build it and they will come. Additionally, I want to thank with my team at Paramount Electric, including Trey Hunter and Ashley Feaster, who work closely with the Power Team, Department of Commerce, Jasper County, the town of Hardyville, to convince TS Conductor to locate here at Jasper County. I also want to thank Will Salibi, who's over our engineering and operations, and his team, and all the other employees who have worked hard to coordinate and oversee the construction, the new transmission line that had to be built by Central Electric Power Cooperative, and a new Paramount Electric substation, which Will's promised me this morning that it's not going to go off anytime this morning. So knock on wood. But again, I want to thank the entire Paramount Electric team and Electric Cooperative Network that have played a key role in making this project happen. Now, again, it's my honor, really, to be up here today to introduce to you the Governor of South Carolina, Henry McMaster. Governor McMaster was born and raised in South Carolina. In 1973, he graduated from University of South Carolina. 47, I'm sorry. Well, I was saying in 1973, that's when you graduated from law school. How's that? It's okay. Governor McMaster was the first U.S. attorney appointed by President Ronald Reagan in 1981. And this is when I first heard the name Henry McMaster after beginning my young career in the electric utility industry in Charleston, South Carolina in the early 1980s. The governor was appointed to head Operation Jackpot, a federal drug task force based in South Carolina that captured and convicted more than 100 drug smugglers from 1983 to 1986. In this area of South Carolina, including Hilton Head Island, was the smugglers' most frequent destination for offloading drugs in South Carolina. So, Governor, thank you. Thank you for that effort. And welcome back to the Low Country, obviously at a much more pleasant and gratifying occasion. The governor also chaired the Republican Party from 1993 to 2002. He was elected Attorney General of South Carolina in 2002 and reelected in 2006. Following service on the South Carolina Ports Authority, he was elected Lieutenant Governor in 2014. Governor McMaster was sworn in as governor in January of 2017, following then Governor Haley's appointment as the United States ambassador to the United Nations. He was elected to a full term as governor in November 2018 and reelected in November of 2022. In fact, at the end of his term, he will be the first governor in South Carolina to serve 10 years. The governor has led a strong and vibrant South Carolina economy and believes in economic development, as we've heard here this morning. One of the things that is so impressive that the governor has had a strong focus in bringing companies like Boeing, Volvo, Google, and many other medium-sized and smaller companies to South Carolina that will manufacture EVs, batteries, and other cutting-edge technology. TS Conductor, locating in South Carolina, Mr. Governor, affirms his vision and support for bringing modern technology companies to South Carolina with their innovative patented design to manufacture electrical conductors. How appropriate it is to be here today to announce TS Conductor, which manufactures a product here in South Carolina that will help meet the serious need that we have for more power generation in South Carolina. Their lower power loss design and higher capacity conductors will help support this need for more power by making the delivery of power more efficient and will help modernize the electric grid. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce a dedicated supporter and a friend of the electric cooperatives and lifelong servant to South Carolina, Governor Henry McMaster.
Thank you very much. Well, I apologize for being a little late. We had some rough weather. And I'll tell you a little story y'all remember. Most everybody remembers Strom Thurmond, hard to forget. Well, we flew down, it was just a few minutes ago, on a King Air airplane, two motors, some of you may have been on. And we hit a little bit of rough weather. Nobody's head hit the ceiling or anything like that, but it was rough. And when we landed out there, there were fire trucks at the Ridgeland Airport, and it looked like a couple of ambulances. They weren't waiting on us. They were down there. We saw them all the way down. Well, it reminded me, it took me back to 1987. I had lost a political race, and we were having a fundraiser. And I had some good friends coming down to help old Henry raise some money to pay off some of those political debts. So a man named Ashton Phillips had lent us his plane, and we flew up, had two pilots, very experienced, gray hair. They knew exactly what they were doing, just like those coming there a few minutes ago. Well, picked up three celebrated Americans. There's Arthur Ravenel, who was a congressman from Charleston. Strom Thurmond, who of course was the centennial son at that time. Yet he lived to be 100 years old, as you know. And Jack Kemp, who was planning on running for president from New York. He played for the New York, whatever the team was, Buffalo. Thank you very much. That's another Mr. Kemp right there. And but Jack did not like to fly in pop planes because he didn't trust them. And he'd been in some, and he would, "Patty, what do I get?" Well, that's the only thing we could get. So he said, "Okay, I'll fly down and back in that 2-engine plane." Well, we got somewhere over in North Carolina, and it got bumpy. And then it got real bumpy. And the pilots kept asking us, "You got your seatbelts on?" He said, "Yeah, we got our seatbelts on. We just told you we had our seatbelts on." They said, "Well, keep your seatbelts on." And it got bumpy and bumpy. And the engine, the right engine, started shaking. And the pilots were starting to talk in some kind of pilot lingo we couldn't quite understand. But they were talking and apparently they seemed pretty nervous about it. And then they started talking about feathering the engine. I didn't know what the world that meant. I don't know if anybody else did or not, but we soon found out they turned off the engine on that airplane. And we had been flying kind of like that. It dipped down in the area. I had to do. We were thinking, oh my goodness, what is this? Well, I looked over and Jack Kemp's eyes were that big. He was about to faint. I looked over at Arthur, Congressman Ravenel, some of y'all remember. I saw him, he looked out the window, he looked at that dead motor sitting there in the prop just like that. He squinched down his seat and pulled down the shade. I looked at him and he said later, I said, all I could think about was who's going to be running for old Arthur's seat. Well, there we were, and I looked over, there was Strong Thermal, had the Wall Street Journal, was reading on, turning the page. He looked at us and said, oh, there's no point in getting excited. There's not a thing in the world you can do about it. Not right like it is. I said, that's how that man is going to live forever. And he just about did. He 100 years. But, Earl, one thing you said about getting things done, that Operation Jackpot, there's actually 133 trucks from ours. And none of them had any criminal record before. Most of them were college educated. Some of them were in fraternities, as I was at University of South Carolina. We didn't know who they were. We didn't have, I never knew I was going to be U.S. attorney or they could be smuggling drugs. We weren't doing that back in college. But when I was sworn in, President Reagan wanted us to go after the drug dealers and smugglers. And we got an idea from a man named Tim Wellesley, who had been with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police at that time, 1981, was head of the Criminal Investigative Division of the Internal Revenue Service in North Carolina. And he came to see me, U.S. Attorney for South Carolina. North Carolina's got 3. We only had 1 because we're the smallest state. He said, I got an idea. Let's follow the money. Follow the money these people are making or find them. I said, okay, how do we do that? He said, I'll give you an agent if you use that technique. Thought, well, that's a good idea, but we don't know about banking. We don't know about drugs. Let's get some people. So we put together a team, SBI, DEA, Customs Patrol, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and State Law Enforcement Divisions. Had them work out of one room. If you go to the old federal courthouse, it's now Brad and Davis Bankruptcy Court in Columbia on Laurel Street, just down from the mansion. You'll see it looks like a weather station or something on top. Well, that's because that's what it was. Well, that's where they started meeting, and then we had a second office in Charleston. And they used a new technique. They followed the money right quick. They went to a Mercedes dealership in Charleston, said, anybody spending too much money they don't have, and way more than they could possibly make it. Said, yeah, we had a fellow's tennis pro over in one of the islands. Young guy came in, wanted to buy a Mercedes. We knew he couldn't afford it, so we started trying to talk him into some sort of a payment plan. He said, no, I'll take to Greenland. How much is it? They told him, it's a bidding on me. He pulled out, this is true, popped open the trunk on his BMW, pulled out a brown paper bag and counted out how many thousands of dollars it was on the hood. Well, those agents, as I say, they were sharp. They realized immediately that's suspicious. So they wrote his name down. Another group was up going around Calabogie Sound, and they saw it looked like a mast of a sailboat sticking up out the water. So they went and looked, and it was a sailboat on the other end of that mast. So they got the skin divers, and they went down in the boat, brand new sailboat, nothing wrong with it, but they pulled the plug or whatever they do to sink the boat. That's suspicious, a new boat down there. So they swam around inside, got some beer cans and some papers and a few magazines, brought them back to the task force office, laid them out down the table, and it wasn't nothing of any significance. But his agents would come in and out because they were working together on the same plan, doing the same thing. and walked by, finally one other stopped and said, "Where did this come from?" Said, "This came out of that brand new sailboat we pulled up out the water down at Beaufort County." Why do you ask? Because those numbers, 4306, those are the last four digits of that Tennis Pros telephone number who bought that Mercedes. That's the way it started fitting together. We had planned, we were working together. That is the exact same approach that has resulted in us sitting here today. We had a plan. Danny Beck's been doing it all his life, I think. We had a good team, and we knew exactly what we wanted to do. So when we were talking to Mr. Long, we knew exactly what we wanted to say. And we did it. We had a great team at Commerce. We got the best technical college in the United States. The best. How do I know that? Because Donald Trump's Secretary of Commerce, Wilbur Ross, was in our state 4 or 5 times and during that first administration. And every time he got a chance to speak, he said, South Carolina's got the best technical college system in the United States. And we're putting hundreds of millions of dollars into it right now, so that young people and old people can go in there and got scholarships too. If you're looking more for a high demand job, if you have a business, you got an industry, you got a company, you need employees bad, and they can be trained at that technical college system. They can be trained, not only trained, but they can be trained for free. You don't pay a thing. And also, if you got a company, whether it's on the other side of the world, the other side of this country, we can send people there from that technical college system. We can get experts to go look at your company, look at your process, your manufacturing processes and machines, and we can learn how to run them. We'll come back and build a curriculum in that technical college system to teach our South Carolina people how to do that business. Nobody else in the world does that. That's pretty good. And we're doing it right now. So we've got a lot of advantages, but the main advantage we have is our people. Every big business I speak with, and that's a lot of them, say that it's the people of South Carolina the reason they come here. Yes, we're lowering that taxes. Yes, we got great technical college system. Yes, we're building highways. Yes, we're building infrastructure. Yes, we're putting more broadband out in the rural areas than any other state. We're leading the country on that. And I'll tell you a story about that. Jim Clyburn and I know those have worked to get that money from the Biden administration to get that done, and we got it. And something else that we just did, working as a team, the U.S. Department of Commerce and the Biden administration had an offer for 12 technology and innovation hubs that will put millions of dollars into that. But there were only going to be 12 of them in the United States. We thought, we're going to get one of those hubs. There were 400 applications, but only 12 of them be selected. Some states had health care, had transportation. We put all of ours, excuse me, I'm sorry about voice. We put all ours in all eggs in one basket. Power, distribution of power, the high tech, how to generate it, how to transmit it. And gee whiz, what a coincidence. That falls right smack in the middle of exactly what you're doing. And we were getting close. We knew that we were one of 30. And so then we thought, well, let's keep pushing. So we did. We went to Washington. We saw Lindsey Graham and Jim Scott and the Congresswoman Mace. And we felt pretty good about what was going on. Well, then we found out that Secretary Raimondo of Commerce, U.S. Secretary of Commerce, wanted to talk to us. So y'all get this picture. I was in my office in Columbia. Senator Graham was in his office in Washington. And Congressman Clyburn was in his office in Washington. And we were on the 4-way call with the Secretary. And we were telling about how we had already started with our Commerce Department, Harry Lights, his team, that we'd already started down there with RSC and all that stuff. We'd already had the first IV summit in the whole country. I mean, we were headed for big power, big production, big transmission. But we knew we'd use some help. So there we were on the phone call talking to the secretary, and we explained what we were doing, and everybody was doing their part. And he can remember Congressman Clobber's organ night kids like he does, and Lindsay guy skipping around and telling jokes every now and then. Well, whatever it was, it worked. Because we got to the end, the chief said, "Gentlemen, since I've been in this administration, this is the first time I have had a bipartisan conference." And we said, "Well, that's how we do it in South Carolina. We work together." Well, it wasn't long. We got to notice we had won the award, and we were one of 12 innovation and technology hubs, somewhere between $45 and $70 million a year. It's already started coming, and it's right dead in the middle of what Dr. Wong is doing. That's how you get things done. So we're making great progress. We are booming. I won't go through all the statistics, but just since I've been around, and it started long before I got there, but since 2017, the Commerce Department, Commerce System, announced over $44.7 billion in new capital investment, over 92,000 new jobs. We've had surpluses every year. They're getting bigger and bigger. The last 3 have been in records. And we're on our way. All we have to do is to stick to the knitting, like we did by that technical college system. Don't try to be a junior college. You don't need French literature and stuff being taught in the technical college. You need to stick to the things where people can come and get to work. And a young man, a young woman can go to that technical college. And we're trying to get down into the high schools, start them off there. And that's why we got 4K kindergarten all over the place. That's why we're having the universities, all of them, asking them to keep that tuition the same. We'll make up the difference in order for people to be able to go to the 4-year schools. We made another bid when the Savannah River site was looking for the academic team to lead them into the next few years. You know who they chose? They chose us. You know why they did it? We put together a team. University of South Carolina State, Clemson, Georgia, and Georgia Tech. And we promised them $120 million over a number of years, and we got that academic contract. And so we have people now doing the academic brain work for those schools that's being done at the Savannah River site. And that's progress, and that is brain power. And by the way, South Carolina State is a remarkable institution. And because of our winning that contract, that has enabled them to climb up to be in the second tier of the research universities in the United States. There are not many that are in there. And the number one, MUSC, Carolina, and the Clemson are in the first team. That's got to be way up. This is right below it. And as far, I believe that's the only historically black college university is in such a situation. We're making great progress. The University of South Carolina is getting ready to help put a new brain hospital in Columbia. I mean, things are going. As long as we continue to aim high and work together as a team, as was done to get us to where we are right now, we could be in great shape. So I started to say, and I'll finish, the reason these business leaders around the world tell me they're coming here is always because of the people. So what's different about the people? Come from different places, different conditions over all the years. We've been through everything, been through it together. We know there's no point in fighting each other. Mark Clark, great general of World War II, later President Siddle, said, "There's more patriotism per square inch in South Carolina than any place in the world." Also, the chairman of B&W, back in 1992, when Governor Campbell introduced him to South Carolina, and in the 25th and 30th anniversaries that I attended here, the leaders have said the same thing. They said, "South Carolina is a handshake state. I'd rather have your hand in mine and your word than a signed contract." And that's how this success story was put together. So we're working. Final story. Young fellow back in his mama's house, and mama went back, said, "Son, you got to get out to bed. Sunday, you got to go to church." He said, "I'm not going to go." He said, "Son, you got to get out to bed. Sunday, you got to go to church." "I'm not going to go, and I'll give you 2 reasons why." She said, "Why?" He said, "Well, 1, they don't like me. 2, I don't like them." She said, "Well, I'll give you 2 reasons why you have to go." She said, "What's that?" Says, "Number 1, you're 39 years old, and number 2, you the preacher. So get out the kid and go to work. Nobody got to tell us to go to work. We at work. We at work today, and things are getting better and better in South Carolina. I'm happy to be a part of it with you." Doctor, this is our state seal. It described this as Dumb's power spirit. That means while I breathe, I hope. We're breathing and hoping we succeed, and you're a part of it. We're glad to be on the team with you. How do you follow that? You know you can run one more term, right? A couple of people I missed in the opening remarks. I want to recommend that to anyone that can use them. Omega Construction. Anybody here representing Omega in the room? They do. There they are, back there. They do a fantastic job. They're a partner with us, and we certainly appreciate building such a strong building, and the wind hasn't blown it down. So you did a good job. And Cassidy, where's Cassidy? Cassidy, you did a fantastic job. I want to brag to you about your boss here. You did a fantastic job putting this stuff together, working with our group, working with the power team, etc. We appreciate everything that you did during this event. Now, lunch is in the next room around that corner. We have a nice little lunch set up, a buffet for everybody to come in and eat. And Governor, you and Dr. Wong, obviously, we have media that's going to want your attention. So if you want to do that before lunch, would be great. Any questions? Thank God. Blessed day. Let's see. This is a great company, Dr. Long. It's hit the nail on the head right now. It's all about electricity. It's about transmission. It's about the grid, and with how our state was working in that area and set it the funds to learn more about it, to find the most technologically sound and innovative ways to do exactly what he is here to be. They are going to put in $134 million in rechargeable. Again, the first phase, 400 returning great jobs, put people in great careers. We had technical college system ready to shift, and we are really doing.
And you say it takes a team, it takes a whole lot of players on the stage to make an outcome like this happen.
What's up? Well, you can't do it by yourself. We had Commerce Department, we had Danny Black, there's local people, we had the mayor, the whole team, all the elected officials, everything that we put together, as well as, of course, the legislature. This is Dr. Long noticed, this is a business thing. State our business is business, and we're supporting him and his company and his vision. It's spoiled it out.
We understand you never say no to a company like that, but
I answered, I told you, and I answered whatever the place is, and he says, always will.
I remember that.
Go on, talk to me a little bit about the product exactly. What are we providing here? What are we doing?
This is a next generation advanced conductor that will transform our transmission and distribution power grid. What many people don't realize is our power grid is still rely on century-old technology today. We often hear about the bottleneck in terms of handicapping our ability to support data center, the AI revolution, and bottleneck to connect with all these solar and wind or nuclear projects. With TS Conductor, you can triple the transmission capacity, leveraging the same structure in the existing rights of way. That is the fastest and cheapest way to get the grid modernized and take care of business. That is TS. And unlike the older generation products, this product can save money for customers. It is also embraced by line crew. That is very difficult to achieve, by the way, with new technologies. This product is safe and easy to work with. One of the biggest strengths that we have is actually the lineman likes to work with our TS.
So you were looking for a location on the East Coast. Why South Carolina?
This is a man. Now, I was thoroughly impressed with the team approach in South Carolina. But more importantly, I was very impressed with the direct involvement and support Governor McMaster and the vision that he had for South Carolina, especially for this region. It resonates with our product extremely well. And we came from West Coast, so it's a very refreshing environment. And hearing the governor, talk about South Carolina, all the business that has come to South Carolina, we made the right choice.
That's what this is. Here, I'll give you an example. What Dr. Long is proposing to do, you know how we want more highways, we have 4-lane interstate. Well, imagine 4 wires running transmission carrying electricity. Each could be turned fully interstate into a 12-lane highway, just with the content of the wires, the new technologies that he had.
Governor, as we talk about AI, the importance of that, how much it's increasing in our everyday world, it takes a lot more of that power like TC Conductor can do. How impressive is how exciting is that for you to know that he's right here in your state?
Well, it's very, very exciting because his presence, his data, his technology, his ability will attract others, like related one way or another to that. Each one always results in more. But we are determined to have a moving renaissance as well as a power renaissance, and that for all of the above. We have determined that's why we submitted out our application for that new technology by a club. But we said power is what we want to do in South Carolina, and that had more of it. Going to be able to get the places quicker and easier and more safe, and less experience, and that's why everything that he's doing, what he do, fits together like a hearing. This perfect.
Dr. Wong, is there anyone else doing this work anywhere in the country? And if you could look at Ms. Robin while you're fixing here.
Yes, TS is a patented technology. We do represent the best material science had to offer today. And we expect that this technology that we bring to South Carolina, the products that we're making, it will be the new standard for our industry. Like the steel wires for the past 100+ years, the TS way of doing conductor will be the way the grid will be built on in the future.
And you said this announcement is the first phase, so there will be other phases. So you're going to continue to grow your company, right, during the Low Country?
Yes, we're going to have phase 2 and phase 3 all within this park. And we have eyes on the building D, which is about more than 1 million square feet. And we look forward to expanding into that building as well. This product made in South Carolina is not just for the U.S. It is also for the world. We intend to make this export hub. This is why we love the proximity to Port Savannah. That strategic location is a significant factor in terms of picking hardware.
Dr. Wong, what do you anticipate tariffs that are being posed, considered by the White House? How do you anticipate that affecting your business if you do so?
I think it's going to affect everyone in the supply chain to the power grid. The fact of the matter is we have very low or small production in terms of aluminum. A significant majority of aluminums are imported. We actually bring them from Canada. So we are actually in active conversations with our customer about how do we manage it. It is a new curveball that we have to deal with. We hope those situations get resolved for everybody's benefit, but the need to modernize the power grid is still there. especially when we talk about data center and AI, you're going to see that momentum actually accelerate instead of slowing down. So the tariff will have some effect, but it's not going to have that much of it. And I hope U.S. and Canada work out the difference because it will benefit us because we make conductors here and it's serving the entire U.S. grid, and that will be helpful to every. Where your conductors in use right now? We have all the house. They everywhere in that. We have our conductors used in Florida, Arizona, North Dakota, Virginia, in the middle, TVA, for example, Tennessee, Mid-America, across Mississippi River crossings. It's all over the country.
Governor, this is just the first session of this announcement. I mean, speak it's these in the grand scheme of things, but or the future of Southville.
Anytime a great company comes to South Carolina, remember, it's always because of the people. And a lot of other things are good tax structure, a friendly business environment, helpful government official. They've been always the people. You can't manufacture people overnight. So they go keep coming. Dr. Long has discovered this is the place to be. When one great one comes, that's a signal to and it attracts and they attract that is why South Carolina is boom. That's why people all over the country not only want to work here, want to invest to build a new company and our pizza, but because of the neighbor within being working you.
Last question, very quickly. Obviously, Hardyville, you can see it all around us. That industrial growth is coming here. As the state sculptor, how proud of you to see what Barhager is really turning into as a community.
I'm proud of every heart of South Carolina, and I'm very proud of the fact that we are a number one selection with many great companies. But also, I'm proud of the fact that South Carolina has become the symbol, the best example of combination of commerce, conservation, and preservation. We have live oak trees around here that are hundreds of years old. It are just beautiful. We have swamps, we have rivers, we have mountains. We are a state that has mountains and beaches. We have a pine forest. If you can't find a happy place to be in the forest or on the beaches of the mountains of South Carolina, you have to wait till you get the help because this is as close to paradise as any place. So I'm proud of everything our people have done, everything we've come through over the years to get where we are, and proud of our new neighbors.
Yeah, I would add a comment. Governor talked about people and the business environment. That is like the culture of a company. That is how people get attracted to. It's the culture. So you might say the culture in South Carolina is what really attracts business like us to come. It's your people, the way you do business here. That is how you have created the culture here.
And it's not just signing a contract, but it's shaking hands, right?
We love that.
And you'll start hiring immediately. Who are you looking for? Or
We will be hiring managerial team members as we're starting up, but we'll also be hiring hundreds of manufacturing personnels. So we actually have a VP of HR here as well, and she has been well connected with the institutions here and also with the local resources. That's really one of the things that we really appreciate the South Carolina environment.
and how many jobs we're talking about?
We're talking about when this is all done, more than 400 manufacturing jobs. So these are direct manufacturing jobs.
And Governor, how many spin-off
I wasn't gonna say a word.
Many.